Hello, everybody. It's Gloria from Gigi the Crochet Queen. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you, Dr. Katrina, Mindful Crafts and More, for your continued membership. Join Dr. Katrina so we can start doing some things. And for all of my new subscribers, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for my returning subscribers, thank you for returning. And you also have the option to buy me a coffee. So I'd like some members to join Dr. Katrina. So I am back to the voguish. Of course, I haven't done anything since, what's today, Thursday? Since Tuesday. This yarn is very stiff compared to working with the 3-weight yarn of the first one that I did. Did she? My stitch fell down again. I bumped the table. She will be all right. Hey, Jan, thank you for the thumbs up. We had rain this morning. Now we're back to being gloomy weather. It is rainy season in Florida, that's for sure. And this past weekend, I watched a lot of documentaries, a lot of crazy stuff. What was the last one? Oh, the last one that I watched was about the balloon boy. If you all remember that, I think it was in like 2012, where they thought the little boy was in this handmade flying saucer. I don't even remember where these people were located, but they have since relocated to Florida. And it was a big hoax. They said it was a big hoax. But I think because the family had been on television, and I think when the little boy spoke, he just, put all together, that everything that they were doing was for television. But the parents were really, really afraid. But the neighbors seemed to think that it was a hoax. I do not know what it was. The father, I think both parents had to do some time. But it was like 30 days or something like that. But the little boy apparently had gone up he had a crawl space in the garage, in the attic. And that's where he disappeared to. So I was left with that it wasn't a hoax, but I'm not sure. They did seem genuinely upset that the son may be in that flying saucer, but I don't know. When you're interviewing a 6-year-old who doesn't have all of that life experience behind them, of course they're going to say what they think. Children are very honest. Some of them, not all. But at that young age, usually they tell tales to get out of being in trouble. So I don't know. But it was a crazy one. And it's a series on Netflix called I think it's called Shipwreck. But it's about all these crazy things that happen. The first one that I watched was, I think the very first one I watched was, there was the cruise ship that left from Galveston, Texas, and I think it went to the Bahamas. and on its way back, it lost all kinds of power, and it was like stinky mess, a stinky mess, to say the least. And they were in that stinky mess for a couple of days. They had to take the ship to Mobile, Alabama, because it had veered off from its path. So that was the closest thing. So I had to go there. Hey, Shakita, how are you? Shatika, how are you today? Thank you for joining me. Blessings to you as well. But it was awful, awful, awful. I can't even imagine being in that. And then, of course, you don't think about that kind of stuff. I mean, I've seen the shipwrecks. I watched the other one about the corn. I can't remember the name of the ship. The ship that the one that crashed in Greece. I watched that documentary. That was pretty scary. And that captain of the ship, he got 16 years, but he still says, I'm innocent. Okay, now I have forgotten what I'm supposed to do next. This is what happens when you put things down, and I have no clue where my pattern is. I don't know if I'm supposed to chain one, turn. I feel like I'm supposed to chain one and turn, but I don't know where my pattern. Focus, das pattern. Is this it? Oh, yay, this is it. Okay, perfect. I have way too much stuff. I need to throw some of this stuff. Well, some of it is receipts. I need to write in my receipt book. Okay, I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost. Okay. Have I been doing this? Now I'm like curious. No, I don't think that's how I've been doing that. Well, let's see if this ends up looking weird at the end. So I do not think I have been doing it. Nope. 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 Okay. Oh, well. It's not going to make a hill a bit of difference. Looks just like all the other rows. So. But I don't think I was doing it exactly like they said to do it. As long as it turns out right, that's the important thing, to make it look right at the end. I don't think I did it right. On the ends, I think I did it the way I would normally do it. We shall see. It takes so long to get from one end to the other. This is so many. It's such a long. You put it down and then you forget what you were doing. Glad I found the pattern. I'm hot. Right. No one is talking to me. So I'm going to be off of here shortly. I want to get as much done in the next 7 minutes. Then I'm going to go have my lunch. Make my salad. I'm trying to remember what other they had. It was interesting that they had I watched another one of those shipwrecks, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. Netflix has a lot of documentaries on there. That's one reason why I enjoy it. And they still have Madoff on there. I can watch that Madoff one over and over and over again. Just amazed me that he got away with that for so long. And the financial devastation that he left behind. Very scary to hand over your monies to people. Even, and in this case, a few, I won't say a lot. I would say some people, I don't know now that I think about it, have to remember how many, because, a lot of that is word of mouth. People like, oh yeah, invest with Madoff. He's doing very well. But I don't know if any of the people really knew him personally. They just knew him word of mouth. See, now I'll be interested to sit and pay attention again and watch it now that I think about it. But I think a lot of it was word of mouth. But it's a very interesting. He went a lot of years, a lot of years. But people, I always say, if they're smart enough to outsmart people, why don't they put all of that knowledge to good use instead of being crooked? I think it's the thrill of to be able to get over on someone. They all have their reasons. I just don't understand it because my mind doesn't think like that. I'm too afraid of going to jail. So I try to stay on the straight and narrow. I enjoy what little freedoms we have left in this country. I still enjoy them. I don't feel free enough to travel outside of this country right now, but I'm hoping one day I will. It's too unstable right now, too much craziness going on. Then I go to American Greed and watch a whole lot of crooked stuff going on. All the people with their Ponzi schemes. I came across my all-time favorite show to watch, Deadliest Catch, on Prime. They have the really, really early episodes of it. And I was watching it and I was like, some of um the ships, like there's a ship on there now that I may have started when I was watching it. I had to have started watching it like right when they were getting ready to leave, because all the ships that I remember, that one ship that's there wasn't one of the ones that I remembered. But he had on, it was so weird. I was like, does he have on a fat tuna t-shirt? Because, Wicked Tuna is my other one that I like to watch. And one of the boats on Wicked Tuna is Fat Tuna. And I kept looking at his t-shirt. I was like, I swear that says Fat Tuna on it. Who knows? Maybe they know each other. Because why would he be catching crab and have on a Fat Tuna t-shirt? Because usually they have on the shirt that represents their boat. That is interesting. I really have such, every time I have crabs, I just have such respect for those men that go out there and fight the elements and to catch crab. They make a lot of money if they, get enough of them. But these are really early episodes because they have like 21 seasons, I think. And the first, when I was watching it, these guys were making millions of dollars. And I know later on in the show, I don't think they were making millions. But I could be wrong because it's been a very long time since I watched it. And you see the um, the guys when they were really young now have their own boats. And one of the guys I saw, just I think it was on Google, he had lost his boat. His partner wasn't paying the bills or something crazy, but he lost his boat. And he was one of the young ones that I'm watching now. And all he kept talking about, all he wants to do is be a captain. So he did fulfill his captain duties. Unfortunately, he has no boat now. Maybe he's gotten one since then because they get paid a nice chunk of money to do these shows. All right, I'm going to get off of here. Enough of the fat tuna and the wicked tuna and Deadliest Catch. So I hope everybody has a good rest of their day. Thank you to Lurker that gave me a thumbs up. Everybody stay safe, keep crocheting. Bye-bye.